Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone here today and our viewing audience to the October 26, 2017 meeting of the City of Davenport Zoning Board of Adjustment. Your participation in city government is appreciated and welcome. If you have a pager or cell phone, please turn it off now. Even if it's in silent mode, it may interfere with the room's electronics. My name is Kathleen Hart, Chairman of the Zoning Board of Adjustment, and the members present today are to my immediate left, Christine Woodard, to my immediate right, Carrie Strayhall, and to my far right, Judith Lee. The staff present today is Scott Copes. The Zoning Board of Adjustment is a 5-member judicatory board established by state law. We're appointed by the mayor and confirmed by city council to serve without compensation for a 5-year term. We normally meet twice each month to hear appeals involving hardships from strict application of current zoning laws. We may also grant variances and rule on a variety of discretionary permits. Now, on to the minutes. Do we have any corrections to the minutes from our last meeting, which would have been the September 28th, 2017 meeting? If there are no corrections, I'd take a motion to approve the minutes.
I so move. Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those are approved. We have one item of new business, no old business. This is request HOP 17-03. Let me repeat that, HOP 17-03 of Heather Casterkey? Okay, Heather Casterkey at 5829 Heather Avenue for a home occupation permit for a hair salon. The property is zoned R3, moderate density dwelling, section 17.48.010 sub S, sub 11, sub E of the Davenport Municipal Code authorizes the Zoning Board of Adjustment to grant a special permit, a home occupation permit, or permits the establishment of certain uses, including but not limited to the shop of a beautician or a barber. Scott, we are for it. If you would come up and give us the city's presentation on this, please.
Scott Copes, Community Planning. So the site is for a 1-chair hair salon, and there is enough parking on site to be off the street, which is required. We did have notices sent out, and we did receive one email, and that was forwarded to you. I can refresh you on that if you would like. In reviewing it, we determined that it can meet our requirements if properly conditioned. And the conditions are listed as there on the slide as I have them in the file. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
Commissioners, any questions? Judith?
Just a question for you. When you say on a rolling basis, do they have to apply every year?
It's automatically renews, but if at any time neighbors have complaints, staff gets involved, reviews those complaints, and then if necessary, we would bring it to the board to either modify the conditions or revoke it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other commissioner questions? Thank you, Scott.
Okay.
Ms. Casterkey. Well, thank you. If you would step up to the podium, give us your name and your address, and then please just present your case. Let us know what we can do for you today.
Okay, my name is Heather Casterkey, and the address is 5829 Heather Avenue in Davenport, Iowa. And I have a pre-existing hair salon. I have a set clientele, and I just would like to, I work in Walcott currently, and I'd like to move it into my home, and we're trying to have a family, and I just feel like it would be more conducive to our schedules if we could, have it home and deal with what I want to do there instead of having the hubbub of rental in Walcott and the driving and things like that.
Okay, thank you. Any commissioner questions? Judith?
You're aware that there was a letter from a neighbor?
No, we did not know.
Do you want to?
I didn't happen to bring it with me.
I've got it.
Okay. Yeah, I apologize. I didn't bring it with me today. But there was an email. And the email was, it focused on a mistake in the notice, which said that the request was a hardship variance, which it isn't a hardship variance. It's actually a home occupation permit request. And so they were concerned about the impact to the neighborhood is what the concern was. So the email indicated there was a lot of other people concerned, but I haven't seen any other emails in support of that or any other list of people complaining or anything come forward. So we just have the one email at this time.
Thank you. Any other commissioner questions? I do have a question for you, Heather. You have indicated that this will be run by appointment only.
Yes.
And then I was a little concerned and thought that the neighbors would be concerned also if they saw that there was a comment here that there's room for like perhaps 5 cars on the parking pad, the driveway, and 4 to 6 cars in the street. How many people are you anticipating having in the shop at any given time?
Not that many people. I was asked to display how much parking was available,
Okay.
and that's what my answer to the question was.
Okay.
I only do one appointment at a time. I don't do multiple clients at a time.
Okay.
So it would be one person, potentially 2 cars there at a time.
With an overlap
An
sometimes?
overlaps of somebody coming and going.
Okay.
I usually do 5 to 7 appointments per day. So, I mean, depending on, you women probably know as far as getting your hair colored, it can take
No.
a few hours.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, sorry. Since you were all
Heavens,
naturally
no.
beautiful with your naturally colored hair, when you go into the salon, it could take a few hours. So it's not like a constant rotation of people flowing. Most of my clients are women who get colors. It's a couple hour process. So it's, 5 to 7 cars max, I would say, per day
Okay.
in a couple hour radius of them. So.
All right. I want to also share, apparently you're relatively new to the neighborhood.
Yes.
And I think that, I know that was expressed in the letter that came from whomever the neighbor was.
Okay.
So I think that the fact that they are not familiar with you also has them somewhat concerned about what kind of business you might operate. And so I guess I would just emphasize the need to help your neighbors to be comfortable with this. We do these quite fairly often. Don't often have any difficulties with them. It's kind of a nice little home business. So I anticipate that this is likely going to pass. It appears that it's meeting the criteria from my quick assessment. But I would really urge you to be mindful that your new neighbors are just a little apprehensive.
Okay.
All right.
We were confused by the hardship comment in the thing too, and I don't really know what that.
Yeah, I have to apologize.
Okay, it was
It should have said home occupation in there.
Okay, because I was
We're-
like,
Yep. We have a new form, and there's 2 different places where we
Okay.
change data when we fill out the form.
Okay.
But so I apologize for that. But I can also give you the comment after the meeting is over. I can forward it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just like to I'm sorry.
Oh, please, no, Judith.
I would just like to reinforce what Kathy said. The primary concern seems to be that it could start a precedent in the neighborhood with lots of people starting home businesses.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And that they're not at all comfortable with that, they said. So, especially with additional traffic and a housing addition that's full of school-age children and older adults. So I would just like to reinforce what Kathy said. It might be wise to get to know your neighbors and, let them know what, details of what you're planning on doing. And
They're so friendly.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Any other commissioner questions or comments? Well, we have one gentleman in the audience. Is there anybody, did you want to make any comments in favor or in opposition to the petitioner's request? I believe you're a spouse, it looks like. All right. Okay. If that's all that we have, I believe we would move on to a motion on this.
Move to approve.
Okay. I should have said this before we had a motion and a second.
I can withdraw if you'd like.
Yeah, could we do that?
I think you
withdraw
can
my
have
motion.
discussion once the motion's been made.
Yes, we can, but then we
Yeah.
might still have to amend
Okay.
the motion. I was wondering, given what you said, and just also to help give some assurance to the neighbors if they look this over, do you have any objection if we were to limit your business to not more than 2 customers at any given time?
No, that's definitely not an issue. I've been
Okay.
I've been an established business owner for
Okay.
15 years.
Okay.
And that's my
That's how it works.
yeah, I've always as a salon owner not
Okay.
enjoyed that as a salon goer, that I
Okay.
didn't like when they multiplied and were flinging people in and out of the chair. So I've always set to be a one person at a time. Unless it's a family of people coming together, then that's a whole different scenario. But I don't do multiple people in the chairs at a time. And I'm only going to have one chair in the salon anyways.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So, would you entertain a modification to that motion to include a limit of not more than 2 paying customers at any given time?
Certainly, do you just want to make it a 6th condition, or
That would be fine.
I would move to make a 6th condition then that limits to 2 individuals or 2 customers at a time.
Could I make a comment?
Oh, yes, please.
It seems to me from the letter that the concern seems to be traffic. So maybe instead of saying, let's say she brings, like you were saying, 2 of her kids at the same time, so there may be 3 paying customers, but 1 car. Should we tie it to vehicles versus number of customers, do you think? I don't know. I'm throwing that thought out there. Scott, do you have a...
Well, I mean, one downside to throwing out the number of vehicles is if a spouse would come or something when, someone's getting worked on, and then during the transition you might have 3 vehicles there. But
Because my husband is a third
know.
shifter, which is why this is, for us, a better option, because when we have children and things like that, he pretty much sleeps off and on throughout the day because his car would be there all day anyway. So there would always be his car there. Mine would be in the garage, but his would be probably in the driveway. So there would always be his car in addition to however many, 1 per 2 client cars there per day.
And I would hate to get into an issue of counting cars constantly. And honestly, these just don't tend to be problematic situations. And if you are a single chair and committed to just really doing an appointment at a time, I don't anticipate that there's going to be any problem with that. But just to kind of give some assurance to those who expressed concern that we're aware of that, and we do expect to be there, that there would be some limitations. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So we kind of jumped into the middle of, I'm so sorry. So much for Robert's Rules of Order.
Yeah.
We did have a motion for, did we do first the motion for the 6th? The 6th,
I made a motion to add a 6th.
a 6th condition, and so
Yeah.
Second it? To move the petition as modified?
Yes.
All right. Could we call the roll on that?
okay, this is the roll call to modify the conditions.
Well, okay.
It's just to add a 6th condition.
All right.
To add a 6th condition, okay, correct.
So this is not a motion.
But it's not a motion for
so
approval,
the
is my
second
understanding.
was not to move the petition
Or
as
did you move to
modified?
approve subject to a 6th? Yeah.
Thank you.
So this
All
is a
right.
motion just to add a 6th condition.
Once again,
Correct.
Robert's rules. Thank you.
And since we're getting distracted anyway, I just wanted to state before you make any decisions is that home occupations are allowed through special use permit in this neighborhood, no matter how many houses in that neighborhood have them or don't have them. So this doesn't establish any kind of precedent or anything. It's not like a hardship variance, which itself doesn't create a situation like that because they're all unique to each house. So, Lee. On the amendment, 6th Amendment, Lee.
For adding the 6th Amendment, Judith?
Yes.
Strayhall.
Yes.
Woodard. Hart.
Yes. Then we would take a motion to approve the petition with the added condition.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll, please.
Woodard. Lee.
Yes.
Strayhall.
Yes.
Hart.
Yes. Your petition is granted. I hope everything goes well.
Thank you.
It sounds
Thank
like you will have a nice thing set
I
up.
try. I mean, in Walcott, you kind of have to be a little more friendly. That's why I was making the comment of joking about how friendly they were, because I've lived in Walcott my whole life where people are overly friendly. So I'm just used to that. And living in this town, or in that part of town, I was kind of shocked at how unfriendly
It
people
can be
were.
a little bit different, but hopefully with a little time, things
Yes, we
will
can
warm
be
up.
friendlier, right?
All right. Good luck
Thank
to
you for your time.
You bet. Excuse me, I'm rocking away. A motion to adjourn, please.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all.